let's talk about the NPP. So, Sky, this one, just a newspaper review. I didn't even review all the stories. The sheer number of stories on NPP Thank You Tour, and if you analyze the stories, they are not very positive.
Negative.
So, for example, if you take Citi, we had Agyapong giving some opinion. Then we had a lot of reports on what happened yesterday. Some stabbing of some KNUST student, his hospital police report. Then there's whole different people talking. Kojo Mpianin speaking. Not even that. Former deputy speaker.
Joseph
Oseusu speaking. Freddie Blaze speaking. And it's all opinions on whether the Thank You Tour is benefiting or not. Freddie Blaze says Thank You Tour is great, keep it up. Joseph Jaku says no, Thank You Tour is becoming divisive. Kojo Mpianin says Thank You Tour, he hasn't seen the point. Then there are others like Kwame Agyapong who thinks the party should sort of take stock, go into conclave, review the report before they even come up to any public thing, and then there's even Sami Uyafi wrote an article yesterday as a journalist basically saying he thinks the Thank You Tour is becoming counterproductive. They should stop it. Then now we have been told Kennedy Agyapong has
withdrawn from
the race. But before we get there, let's...
Not the race, the Thank You Tour.
The Thank You Tour. So here's...
You call it campaign though.
Here is... So what is this, a report or a voice clip? I don't know what this is. Okay, you just play what they put in front of me.
What happened yesterday, I want to pull out, or myself and my team want to pull out, because lives are threatened. I don't think I can protect my team enough. So we want out so that Dr. Bawumia can do his campaign tour. I admit that he was the flag bearer. So if he's going round, and for the sake of unity, he invites it, and it turns out to be something different. I mean, we just have to stay away for them to do their own thing. So in brief, all I'm saying is, my team is pulling out, but I still call for unity in the party. This will not scare me to leave the party. We built the party from 1990 till now. So as for intimidation, they should rest assured that intimidation will not help them. I'm not somebody you can intimidate for me to stay out of the party. I'm still a party member. I'm calling for unity. And therefore, if I'm preaching for unity, I will not preach violence. I just want everybody, all supporters, to calm down. But I'll make sure justice is done to the student who was hurt. Publications are coming out that my supporters were fighting over 2,000 cedis. It wasn't 2,000, it was just 1,000 cedis. That Ali Suraj security that he brought snatched from the students. So it's not my support who were fighting over 2,000. That is not true. And a matter like this, we have to be seen apologizing. We should be apologetic. But if you come out with false publications like that, then we are being defensive. It will not help the unity that we want. So I'm pleading with those on the other side managing social media, saying all sorts of things. I've seen it all. I don't want to respond, because in one breath, Agyapong is preaching unity, and another breath is preaching violence. It doesn't make me the real Agyapong they know. But what happened at Brekum, I needed to check Abronye for him to stop whatever he's doing. There is a clear indication from Brekum to Kumasi, tells me that, look, you are not needed, you are not wanted. So we are pulling out. Let them do their own thing. And at an appropriate time, I assure them that we are also going to campaign. I want everybody to know, every party member to know that I'm going to contest. Until they should be ready. And respectfully, nobody can tell me to back off. I will not back off. Because we started from 1990 till now. So in short, I want to say a big thank you to everybody. And because of what happened last night, that is why we're pulling out.
So that was Kennedy Agyapong announcing his withdrawal from the Thank You Tour. Hafiz Tijani is Ashanti Regional and Middle Belt Bureau Chief. Hafiz, thanks for joining us. Good morning. Were you at the at the church where this incident occurred, this stabbing, or how did you get to know of it? What else can you tell us?
Well, but I was not at the event grounds when the incident happened, but we picked information and we had to follow up with the police and also sources within the camp of Kennedy Agyapong and people who were there at the event center. So we're told that because usually this or such activities have to do with some euphoria, sort of. So we have the Konti and also the Katanga guys coming sometimes to perform the Jama session just to boost the morale at the event ground. So we're told that Kennedy Agyapong was recently at one of the events where these Konti Jama group performed. Then he was happy about their performance. So when he was coming, they thought that they should come and then maybe cheer up Kennedy Agyapong because he was going to be at the ground. So his friend, Kennedy Agyapong's friend, came in to also take part in this event. So whilst leaving, he gave some money to these Jama guys who were around because they went to him and trying to also sing the morale towards him. Then he gave them some money. Then we're told that some unknown, well-built men who came from nowhere, who we are told are New Patriotic Party members or supporters, came in and took the money from the guys. So it resulted in a confrontation. Even before yesterday, we're told that they had an altercation because when the well-built men came, we're told that they asked the Konti guys to stop singing and chanting the name of Kennedy Agyapong, but they refused, and then they continued. Then when the money issue came, they came to take the money, and that resulted in a confrontation. We're told that gunshots were fired before even the stabbing incident. So this victim was rushed to the Komfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital when he was stabbed, and currently he's on admission. He's been taken care of by doctors there, and Kennedy Agyapong and his team followed up to the hospital. Then they lodged a complaint at the Kumasi Central Police Station for investigations to begin.
All right. Do we know if anybody has been arrested by the police?
So far, no arrest has been made.
So what was the plan for the tour? Were there other meetings scheduled for the region? Do we know where Dr. Bamiyan is supposed to go? That's question one. And question two, now that Kennedy says he's withdrawn, have we had any reaction from the party?
So even before his announcement to withdraw, today we're told that since dawn, there have been series of meetings between the General Secretary and the organizer of the party trying to ensure that Kennedy Agyapong would rethink his decision. But we're told that that meeting didn't end well because he said his supporters were being attacked, and he has noticed some of the biasness towards his supporters whenever they go to some of these grounds. And he thinks that this is the best decision to take so that he will put his supporters, the life of his supporters, in further danger. But we're told that there were series of meetings between him and top executives of the party this morning before coming out to announce his resignation. But so far, the party has not given any official statement on this action by Kennedy Agyapong yet.
So basically, watch this space, right? You are basically saying let's see what happens today, based on the fact that the meeting was inconclusive, and therefore Kennedy has also withdrawn. So we don't even know if the tour will continue today.
Exactly. So we're told that they were due for Adanse Formula today, and we are not privy to whether or not they are going to continue with the tour today.
Then we'll leave it here, and then if you have any update, let us know. So obviously your antenna is on. If there's going to be any meeting or any announcement, we'll hear it first from you. Thank you, Hafiz Tijani, Ashanti Regional Correspondent. So basically, there's no clarity on whether the tour will continue, because apparently the meeting is inconclusive.
But
yes, you've been saying a few things about this.
You see, look, I think we have covered enough politics in this country to know that some of these things are just faux pas that ought not have even been made in the first place. Look, you lost an election how many months ago? 4 months ago, right? And it was the most disastrous election defeat ever recorded in the history of the Fourth Republican Constitution. Many people are still angry. If you go online, you hear people and the expressions that come from them. It is obvious that there was something about the administration that people still resent. And the way they voted the government out ought to be something that should signal an opportunity for you to sit down and reflect deeply. You commissioned an audit into what accounted for your loss. A report was submitted a couple of weeks ago. I don't even think that is a couple of weeks ago.
Like a week ago.
What the party ought to have done, in my respectful view, is to properly sit down and internalize the report. Because we are told that it is a voluminous document.
Yeah.
That would require that some strategic thinkers within the party, people who have been in leadership position before, people who the leaders defer to, will come together. They will call they will do some retreat.
Yeah.
In Akosombo or maybe Alisa Tema or somewhere. Sit down and internalize the report. Come to terms with what exactly the eminent people found when they went onto the ground. And based upon that, they would then map the way forward in line with what the eminent people found in the report. All you did was to call a National Council meeting after having received the report. A press conference was subsequently held, and then boom.
No, and then they said they were going to do
amendments to the Constitution.
Constitution.
And then boom.
So hold on. So you're saying that even before the amendment to Constitution, they probably should have had some people comb through the report and sift out maybe some plan of action which could include amendment.
Yeah, there may be things you agree with or things you disagree with in terms of the findings of the committee.
So you can go back and forth a bit.
Exactly, and find a common ground.
And it doesn't have to be made public.
Yes. And the NDC didn't make theirs public.
Up to today, we don't know what was in the report.
I celebrate the NDC for making that strategic decision.
They didn't make anybody know.
People speculated, people said all kinds of things. People went with microphones into the faces of the likes of Dua Jaho.
They said they won't tell you anything.
And the late Kwesi Botwe.
Yeah.
But we did not get much into the public domain.
Yeah.
If you are strategic about these things and you are not all concerned about, oh, let me leave, it's my time to leave, this guy failed, so let me take over now. What are you doing? Look, the NDC government just took office. There will be mistakes they will make. There will be great things that they will do. John Mahama yesterday launched a very sweet initiative. These are things that you sit down as an opposition party. You should reflect on the ones that will help us as a country, the ones that will not help us, and sometime in August, then you are out with constructive alternatives and celebrating those that you can celebrate. But what have we seen? Immediately after the government came into office, they were firing on all salvos. And many of these oppositions are not coordinated. Someone is saying something on this network, another person is saying something, and many of these things are own goals. They sometimes even prove that the position you held in government, when you were in government, is the very thing that you are opposing today. People are saying declare state of emergency on Galamsey. When you were minister, what did you do about it? These things were raised even on this network. People came on this network and said that look, it will not happen because of ABCD. What has changed in 4 months that will require you to now say as a minister no longer in office that let's do state of emergency? The point I'm making is that the NPP has got to go back into the shadows. Read carefully what Professor Michael Quaid found. The recommendations that it has made. Internalize them. And based on sound thinking, invite people who understand strategy
to do with it.
Samens is there. He's done strategy.
He's not interested in that.
No, I'm just saying.
No, he's not interested in that.
I'm saying. There are many people
I know what you're saying.
These leadership retreats,
I get you.
they will call you and they will speak to you that, because of A, B, C, D, do this, and then you take the leadership
So
initiative.
you think that they are scoring own goals?
I think it's
my
not
question
useful.
for Samens is whether is this not a normal reaction to a difficult loss? So it's part of the venting process. So that if you look at it from a long-term view, party has lost an election, people are angry. So sometimes these things happen, and then they normalize. So as
All
you
the
say,
time, not
so
sometimes,
they,
all the time.
they storm,
Yeah.
they norm, they reform, and then they begin to perform. Or so are you tilted towards there, or more a leadership vacuum that is being
I will
exploited?
start from where Sky left off.
In 2 minutes.
It is a must happen. You understand that they should really consume the content of the report, so that they can strategize with it. Okay. Now, having said that, I do not think that the thank you tour should be a consequential outcome of the report. Okay. For me, I see it as a completely separate item. Now, my departure is that, one, I do not think that it was a good idea for former vice president to invite the contestants to the thank you tour.
You think so?
Yes, I don't think it was a good idea. In his quest to give a semblance of unity, I think that is where
it's
backfired.
backfired.
And there was no point inviting them.
If you hadn't had a prior private meeting to discuss the modalities of it,
Well, maybe they did. But
because
people
from
also
the way
have
it-
their own agenda.
because from the way it plays out, you go to a place, different people talk.
Exactly,
So it's almost
because
like
you see,
they have not done the backroom
There's
work.
no meeting that could have salvaged this thing, because all the aspirants or the former aspirants interface with the NPP community differently.
Yes.
And they have their strongest bases in different geographical areas. So you don't expect them to come along with you and go and do yes sir to you when they get to where they consider is their strong base. So that was wrong
So
on
it's
the
a
part.
wrong move.
Secondly, Dr. Baumia should have been advised not to attempt bringing out the contents of the report as known to him, because the theme of the exercise was to thank people regardless.
So once you start bringing certain content out,
You are talking about justification.
where do we stop?
You know,
Where
and,
do we start?
You know, and but leaders hear voices.
Yeah.
They hear voices. So I would imagine that his effort was to react to something that was also pressing.
Oh,
But
stre-
in doing so, this is what. So whether they will stop, I don't think they will stop. I don't think they will stop, because they actually owe people that action of gratitude. So they have to keep, but stick to the thanking people.
And stop reducing
and
portions of the report that you have.
you see, in the first place, Dr. Baumia, with all due respect, as things stand now, you are not the leader of the party.
So it's not even your position to
So
be
it's
inviting
not
people
even
to.
in your position to be exposing the content
Yeah.
of the report. It's not crap.
Yeah.
At worst, let the party chairman do it.
Correct.
Because he's the leader of the party.
You
party
understand?
chairman. What-
So
okay.
this is where, so we are. It's like scoring old goals, but going forward, you still owe it to people to thank them, because your picture was on the ballot box.
So there's nothing wrong with going around to thank people.
No, he
the
should.
problem is the
Stick
inviting
to
the people
knitting.
and also
Go
stick to the.
and thank people. There are chiefs. There are people who stuck their necks out for you. You understand? So go thank them. As for what is contained
In that
in the report, it has to be consumed by the leadership of the report. Then, based on that, they craft a strategy.
From what you're saying, you seem to agree with Kwame Agyapong's views on these issues, because I think he said very similar, that he believes that the party should internalize the report. He thinks a lot of the reaction is too early, and there has to be a cooling off period and all of those
I
things.
think maybe when we have time, we should play back some,
That yes.
because he made
a lot
very
of
valid
sensible
point
points.
about even electing the flag bearer ahead of doing the party elections.
That one is debatable. Though.
No, everything else is debatable. I'm
That's
just
right.
saying that I tend to agree with
With
him.
him. That's-
You
yeah.
understand? In fact, before we end, yesterday the OSP, in his submission to the Constitutional Review Committee, also made some very, very, very important issues
What did he say?
about lifestyle audit of public officials.
Yes. Yes, yes.
I think we should discuss this thing someday.
I will retrieve the audio.
Very, very important.
Lifestyle audit.
Yes.
Lifestyle audit. He also wants the OSP to be constitutionally guaranteed because he feels like now it's just an act.
Like the EC chair, like the CJ.
Not even the person.
Yeah,
more
the
the
office,
institution.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And you see, we can all learn from history. When Nana Addo lost the 2008 election, when did he begin going back to the people?
Yes.
When he lost the 2012 elections.
It was a while later. It wasn't immediately.
You see, there is also the opportunity for even the candidate who lost the election to go and sit somewhere and cool
think,
off.
cool
think,
off.
reflect.
Cool off.
Do you want to do it again?
Yeah, it's
do you
too-
think the appetite
yeah.
is there? Do you think that
The whole thing seems rushed to
yeah,
you.
it's like,
Business as usual.
no. Sit down, reflect on all the angles. and-
Consult.
Exactly.
I get you.
Look at it in the round.
Bro, even if he went there in January only to go and thank people, just to go and thank people, there'll be nothing wrong with it. But now going to thank people and then telling them what is in their thing
And then
advising them
Yeah, it's
and reminding them why we lost.
as you say, leaders hear different things. The pressures are many.